BeastBeers.com here with Brent Bolte, defensive coordinator for the Bemidji State football team. Brent here to talk about the linebacker position and the success that it's had over the time that you've been here. Kind of talk about the importance of that position in this gangrene defense.
Well, our system is a lot of check at the line of scrimmage type of stuff, so we have to have not only athletic kids that are very physical, we got to have kids that are pretty smart kids too. So when you're recruiting kids, you kind of smarts maybe outweighs athleticism at time for certain positions that we have. So it's pretty integral for us to have smart, fast, physical kids, and then besides the smarts, the physicality is our brand. So that's huge for us.
BeastBeers.com here with Buckley Wright, senior linebacker on the Bemidji State football team. Buckley, just talking today a little about the linebacker position and history of it. You've been here for 5 years and been a part of this program at that spot. What is it about the linebacker position that sort of just it seems different than some of the other positions on the team?
Yeah, like you said, it's a little different. It's special. I think number one, we got an all-around great coaching staff, but I think it starts with our position coach and Coach Bolte. He's just such a knowledgeable guy and a great coach, and it just reflects in I think the players he recruits and what he expects of us, and that makes it a special group. And it's always, not even just on our team, but most teams, the linebackers are supposed to be the leaders out there on defense and controlling everything.
Let's talk a little bit about Coach Bolte. What is it about his coaching style that just sort of makes you better?
Something about him that just makes him a great coach. I think it's his ability to be able to relate in all aspects of the game. He can do it all well. He can be your mentor. He can be that guy that is by your side to help you with anything. But he's also that guy that's gonna, maybe a couple plays later he's gonna get on your butt. He's gonna chew you out for doing the wrong thing, and then he's gonna pull you aside and he's gonna do his coaching aspect. But like I said, I think the biggest part is just being able that he can relate to his players very well, and you can vote him for anything on and off the field.
You played linebacker in college. Where does your knowledge base and coaching style come from at that position?
It's kind of funny. When I went to college at Cornell, my linebacker coach, my first year, actually coached my dad and my uncle. Actually, my uncle, my dad, but his name was Robert Thurness. Kind of growly, old, get after you type of guy. He coached for a year and it was on staff, and then Kurt Heidemann, who played at the University of Iowa, and he was a wrestling coach at Cornell as well, and they were very different styles. Kurt was a lot more laid back, Coach Heidemann, and Thurney was more in your face type of guy. But honestly, I think it was a blend of those guys in playing, and then probably my biggest influence is probably my high school basketball coach, believe it or not. Dave Ray, he's a growly, get after you type of guy too. But he won a lot, so you kind of learn from a little bit from all the coaches that you've been around. But I'd say those are the type of guys that have probably influenced me the most.
You're a 2-year captain. What was it like, sort of getting comfortable with that position and learning from those older guys? What kind of process is that, sort of being that redshirt freshman coming out of high school and that learning process?
We've had a great tradition of linebackers here, so I had a lot of great people to learn from. Andrew Egan was here one of my first couple years, and then I had Coach George Perkadenet, who's actually, like I said, now our coach. Had a lot of learning experiences from him, and then the guy I was probably the closest with was Corey Crosby, who graduated this last year. Close on the field and off the field. I learned a lot from him as a captain, as a player, and just a person. And then it is a lot of adjustment being that captain, especially as a junior. There was a lot of pressure, and there still is. There's a lot of pressure on all captains to do the right thing all the time on and off the field. So that took a lot of pressure, but I think I filled into the position fairly well. And obviously, I still have my mistakes, but I try and limit those and be a good leader for the other guys on the team.
Inside or out, you guys have had a lot of success here. All conference guys almost every year since you've been in this position. Why so much success at that spot?
Coaching, baby. I know. I think it goes down to recruitment, not necessarily coaching. And we've had a lot of good kids that understand to play within the system of the defense. And I think it's a system / recruiting, again, the physical smart kids. And then you can just kind of keep plugging kids in. And we've been fortunate to have some kids that are just blessed with it, a lot of skill too and leadership characteristics. So when you take that all into consideration, I think that's why they've had a lot of accolades as well, and plus we've had a lot of great D linemen that have come through, and that makes our job in that spot a lot easier too. So it's a combination of all those things, I think.